Hey everybody, Dave McKeown here from Outfield Leadership. Thanks so much for stopping by. Whether you lead a team or you lead an organization, what is going to happen over the next couple of months and years is going to be crucially important for your team and your business. And I just wanted to spend a few minutes and share some thoughts on how you might want to think about rebuilding for 2020. Five very quick things that we're going to cover. First of all, what's the mindset that you need to emerge from this stronger? Secondly, what are the key horizons of focus that you might want to evaluate your team or your business's progress against? What are some of the key areas that are up for renegotiation or evaluation? What are some of the choices that you need to make, and what are some questions that you can ask to allow that to happen? And then finally, how do you begin to put this together into a plan that's helpful and useful for you? So first of all, let's take a look at the mindset that I think is going to be helpful and valuable for you as you lead your team and organization through the rest of the year. First of all and foremost, we've got to have an onwards mindset, a forward-thinking mindset, not a backward-thinking mindset. The organization that you had in the past before we entered into all of this is going to be very markedly different whenever you merge the other side. There's just such a colossal shake-up across most industries that just relying on your past successes isn't going to be enough. We've got to begin to build some sort of a future for your team and your organization that may look like what it was before, but will still be markedly different. So having that future-focused mindset, that gives you the opportunity to really reimagine everything. You've ultimately got a blank sheet of paper to assess what are some of the positive things about your team and your organization, and what are some things that may need to change as you emerge from this. And you get this wonderful opportunity to draw a line in the sand and emerge out of this with a new focus, with a new product mix, with a new set of processes, with a new people strategy. Everything is up for grabs at the minute, and that gives you the opportunity to really reimagine everything. That will then hopefully lead on to you emerging from this stronger than when you went in. The reality is that some leaders and teams and organizations are going to be much stronger by the end of this year than they were at the beginning. And so why not you? If you can adopt this mindset, that'll essentially help provide you the momentum that you need to make the choices and the decisions that might not always be easy, but that will hopefully end you up in a better place. So if that's the key mindset that's going to help you get through this, what are some of the horizons of focus that you might want to concentrate on? Well, there are three that come to mind for me that any leader needs to proactively move between. The first one is the next 60 days. We're at a point where we can begin to pull together some sort of transitional set of goals that'll help guide and navigate what's going to happen, what your organization or team needs to do as you begin to emerge from this current crisis. So what does the next 60 days look like for your team and your organization? What are some of the goals? What are some of the things that need to be addressed? Then the other horizon of focus that you need to spend time thinking about is the second half of 2020, so July onwards, and almost need to be able to balance both of these and juggle both of these at the same time. If you spend too long just thinking about the next 60 days, you're going to miss some opportunity that might come for you towards the back end of the year. And similarly, if you're too focused on the back end of the year, you're going to miss some of the things that you could be working towards now. And then that actually ties into the third horizon of focus here, which is what needs to get done this week. And actually effective leaders at the minute are having to navigate between these horizons of focus in a proactive rather than reactive way. So that's the horizons of focus to think about as we're rebuilding for 2020. What are some of the key areas? I said that you could reimagine everything. What are some of those key areas that you might want to look at? The first one, probably obviously, is your product and service mix. For many businesses, there is going to have to be some sort of shift in their product and service mix. Now, there'll be some organizations for whom they don't need to shift or change anything. You look at people like Zoom who provide the software that we're all using. They just need to double down on that service offering and improve it and get it better. On the other end of that spectrum are people in the travel industry for whom the product and service mix is up in the air. Most of us fit somewhere between those two extremes. But as you look across your product and service mix, ask yourself what needs to change, if anything, what needs to pivot, what can you double down on, and what needs to go away completely, what isn't going to emerge out of the back of this as a valid product or service in your portfolio. Also, is there anything that you should sunset at the minute? And make sure that you're looking at that product and service mix across those horizons of focus. So what might need to change this week, what goals do you want to set around the next 60 days, and then what might need to tweak or change or shift or change, towards the back end of the year. Next key area that you might want to look at are your processes, from how you market your business, how you sell what you sell, how you deliver it, how you manufacture it, finance processes, IT processes, HR processes. For most organizations, there's one or two things that you can do. Either your processes have grown or accreted over time and there's a little bit of bureaucratic bloat in there. Now is a really good opportunity to trim some of that down, get back to being a little bit more agile and flexible. And for some organizations, there's this need to actually put in place some more systems and processes to help you get some momentum in your growth out the back end of this. So taking a look at your processes across the 60-day mark and the back end of the year, what in there could be reimagined, what is up for grabs. And then the final area to look at is your people strategy. What does your org chart look like as you emerge from this? What are the key roles that you need to manage the transition out of the lockdown that we're in, the transition out of the quarantine and into the back of the next part of the year? What does the org chart look like to manage that transitional a phase, and then what's the org chart that you need for 2021 and beyond? Now is a really good opportunity for you to not just draft that out, but also to think about culturally, what is the culture that you want for your organization at the end of all of this? Maybe there have been some values that have gone by the wayside or been distorted over time. Now is a really good time to reclaim those. So what's the product and service mix? What are some of the processes that you need to change? And what's your people strategy and culture strategy over the medium and long term? Within those key areas then, what are the choices that you need to make? And I've alluded to some of them as we've gone through, but ultimately you should ask yourself these three questions. What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? And what should we keep doing across each of those areas and across each of the horizons of focus that we talked about? There might be the situation that you need to launch a new product or service offering, something you should start doing. Maybe you need to stop hiring people that aren't adding to your culture. Maybe you need to keep reinforcing the importance of the systems and processes that you have there in place. But as you look across the 60-day horizon and then towards the back end of the year, what do you need to start doing? What do you need to stop doing? And what do you need to keep doing? So we've looked at the mindset shift that you need to help rebuild for 2020. We've looked at some of those key horizons of focus, the key areas that you might want to consider, and then some choices, 3 quick questions, super simple questions to help you evaluate what needs to stay or change or be different in those key areas. Here's how you can put it together into a real simple plan. First of all, set 60-day goals. I think anything longer than that, and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for you to actually know what you're walking into. But we've got past the point of just dealing with this on a week-by-week basis. Take a look at the end of the next 2 months. So we're in May now, so that would be the end of June. Where do you want to be with your organization across each of those areas? What are those things that you want to start doing? What are those things you want to stop doing? What are those things that you want to keep doing? Set out those goals and focus on the outcomes rather than making it activity-based. Make it outcome-based so that your people can coalesce around that. You can build alignment around the outcomes that you're trying to achieve by the end of those 60 days. And then review that on a weekly basis. Make the adjustments, make the changes that you need as new information comes in, as things change in the marketplace. We're going to need a degree of resiliency over the next 60 days, and you're going to need a degree of agility and flexibility to help you through that. And the only way that you can do that is by getting good data on an ongoing weekly basis. So take a look at your mindset, take a look at your horizons of focus, take a look at those key areas that you might want to work on in your business. Ask yourself those 3 questions. What should we start doing? What should we stop doing? And what should we keep doing? And then build it into a 60-day plan focused around outcomes that you can review on a weekly basis. If you'd like some assistance or help in doing any of that, I'd love for you to go to outfieldleadership.com/plan. I've got a really good program there for you that will help you build together with your team that set of 60-day goals that will help you manage this initial transition period and then start to build some momentum for the back end of the year. If I can be of any of assistance to you, I would love to help you. I hope that has been helpful for you. Those are the 5 key things that I think you need to focus on in order to rebuild for 2020. And I wish you all the very best.